So hello there, YouTube. I guess I'll tell this other story in another video. Years ago, I'm a sports photographer, so I had a guy hired us, me and a buddy of mine. He'd fly out to New Jersey. He'd fly us out to New Jersey, pay us, a day rate, and we'd shoot kid sports. And he had a very successful business out there. Anyway, he had a brother, and I rode with this brother out wherever we were going. And the longer I'm riding, I'm getting sick. I'm getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And he's not driving crazy. I'm thinking, well, maybe this is car sickness or whatever. And it really wasn't. So we get to the event, and I can't even stand to shoot any games. I just had to lay on the ground, and I'm throwing up and just all kinds of. I mean, I just felt sick for I didn't eat anything bad. For breakfast in the morning. I just felt sick. Well, come to find out, he told me this story about his car. He lived next to these people. They were in New Jersey. He lived next to these people that their sons were drug dealers, and they were murdered, assassinated in the back seat of this car. And he kept bugging these neighbors. He goes, when you gonna sell me that car? And they said, get out of here, get lost. And finally he kept bugging them for years, and they finally said, take the car. I don't want it. We don't want it anymore. Just take it. And he took it. And anyway, the people were murdered in the back seat. Apparently it was full of blood at one time. But anyway, he told me this story afterwards, and there was no way I'm getting in that car again. It made me ill. I mean, I was actually vomiting and just made me ill for some reason that I didn't know. If I'd known that before, I wouldn't have gotten that car. But I don't know, you're sensitive to that kind of stuff. I think some people are. They don't maybe not know how to interpret it, but oh Lord, that kind of creeped me out. Anyway, bye. Well, hello there, YouTube. I just thought of one more. I wasn't there at the time. But my wife and I moved to Texas in 1985, and my grandmother was diagnosed with bone cancer. And before I left, every day I was over there for 2 weeks. I mean, just spending time with her, and because I knew I'd never see her again. So I spent a lot of time with her, and at that time she was still there, but they brought her home to die, but she was still there. And she would tell me, she called me Jimmy. Everybody called me Jimmy that I grew up with. But anyway, she said, Jimmy, I'm afraid to go to sleep at night because there's always a man in my doorway. He's just waist up. There's no legs. He's waist up and he's gesturing, come on, like, come with him. And she was scared to death because they were church people. They they're Catholics, Wednesday night and Sunday Mass, doing all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I got to spend quality time with her before she passed, and when I was already gone, I still kept in touch with my uncle because he took care of her, and they bought her a hospital bed, to keep her, when she was in bed in her room. And she got so bad that she really lost everything. She lost her ability to sit up and sit up straight without falling over, kind of thing. So she got to the point where she was nearing the end, and they had to put her in like I guess I couldn't explain it, kind of like a straight jacket kind of thing, fold it and tie it behind her chair just to hold her straight so she could watch her stories. I don't know if she knew what she was watching, but that was, her soap operas at the time. So they had her in that, and they'd keep her in there, and then she'd watch her stories. And then, the hospital beds are really tall, and my uncle was in the other room. He's a farmer. He was doing the books, and he came out there, and she was gone. she wasn't in her chair anymore. And him being a Catholic, he was scared to death. He didn't know what to think. He was just like scared. But at that time they had a lady, kind of a nurse, helping out as well. And they went into her bedroom, and she is in her bed, tucked in like a taco, you know, completely tucked in, arms tucked in, completely covered up, and the railings up so she wouldn't fall out, and she was completely in there by herself. And mind you, she couldn't move at all. She couldn't even speak anymore. She just couldn't even sit up by herself, but she just ended up in her bed for some reason, and I remember him telling me that, and he was scared to death, you know. So that's another funky story, but it didn't actually happen to me, so I don't know if I'll use it. Anyway, bye.